Welcome, welcome, welcome to Vibin in the D. I hope y'all ready because we're gonna have a good conversation tonight. But in the meantime, in between time, let's get that intro going.
off the liquor and going on the coffee. Sometimes I'll be like this, but you're still tired. But
That's on backup for so many years. I just started branching out as a solo artist last year.
I have went home and had the situation where people brought their friends.
Well, that was my thing, and I just
2021.
once I got that confirmation, and I prayed to God.
Hey, welcome, welcome. Make sure you like and share this video. I would really appreciate that. I have a special treat for everybody tonight, and I'm excited about it. Met this young lady a while back, and crossed paths with her a few times at different events and whatnot. But lately she been on the tick of the talk, and y'all know I love TikTok. And I'm excited. I'm excited. She is a fun, uplifting, amazing person. Has a lot of things behind her that she's done and she's received awards for. And we're just gonna talk about life. What's up, Ready Rock? Thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate you. Yeah, if you have time, in the description, her website is there, her name on Instagram, and also her name on TikTok. Make sure you follow her and enjoy her just like I have been. Just going to give you a little snippet right quick before we bring her on. And this is one of her people expert tips of the day from TikTok.
Hey family, it's Dr. Sabrina here with your People Expert Tip of the Day. And today I want to talk about 5 R's that are necessary in building cohesiveness in our families. Because so many of us right now during this pandemic have had issues with our families, with the people that we live with. So the first R is rules. You gotta have rules. You gotta have structure. You gotta have how things are gonna flow. Then you need routines. You need things that you do on a regular basis to help things flow. Then you have to understand the responsibilities. Who's responsible for what? Then you need recognition. And this is one of my favorite because we need to appreciate the people that we live with, whether they're the parents or the kids or the spouses. We need to have moments of appreciation. And the last R is recreation. Oh, a family that plays together and prays together stays together.
Welcome, 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 Dr. Sabrina.
Oh my God, that was so cool. The 5 R's. I love those.
I love that. And that was your 90th people expert tip of the day.
Yes. Yes.
90. So you did that 90 days in a row?
No, not
okay.
98. When I first started, I was doing them every day. And then I didn't want to do them every day no more. Plus, I was sick. I was in the hospital for 28 days. So I couldn't do them during that time because I was on a breathing machine and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't do them. And so I was off for a while. And then, God just said, okay, here go one for you. And literally, he'll just drop something in my spirit. I'll be looking at something will trigger a thought. And then I'll do a little snippet to give us tips, tools, and strategies on how to deal with people and ourselves.
Right. My sister just said the 6th R is run.
I love your sister. She said the 6th R is run. Run away from them people.
Okay.
You do need moments of isolation, moments to get away, moments of what I call self-care, because self-care is a requirement, not a recommendation. It's not something I think you should do. It's something you absolutely need to do. Because
that was one of the other ones I had too.
Oh, yeah. You just got to be able to take care of yourself. And so a lot of people think that if you're doing self-care, that means you're selfish. But being selfish is self-care. I have to look out for me. I have to make sure I put the oxygen on me when I'm on. I have to. So Stop letting other people dictate what you do. You determine what's
That's
good for
right.
you and do it on
Ready,
purpose.
Ready Rock said, "Love your energy and locks."
And it's a bob.
Hey,
So it's
all
short in the
right
back
now.
so that when I get a man, he could just rub on the back of my neck. He got some hair to play in the front, and then some rubbing in the back. Okay, I'm silly. I know.
Right. Rumble. Somebody said another R is rumble. Yeah.
That's the problem. Well, let me say this. The reason that I even talked about the 5 R's is because one of the things that we're seeing since the pandemic is the rise in domestic violence. And so people got the rumble part down. They got that down. We need to get the other part down so that we learn how to agree to disagree agreeably. I don't have to agree with what you say, but I have to be respectful.
Exactly.
That could be another R, but yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. Do you think you did say respectful in there?
I said rules, routine,
responsibility,
recognition, and recreation.
Okay, but yeah,
so we add respect. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Mama. Mama said hello.
Hey. I feel like I just love y'all. I feel like y'all my family. Y'all are officially my extended family. I just adopted myself in y'all family because I love your story. Oh my God.
Come on with it. And one Media Detroit says, "Hey, Dr. Sabrina, this Juan."
Hey, Juan Johnson. We're going to do some work together. Yes. He has a network, and I'm going to be doing a podcast on his network.
That's awesome. I did see that on your website that you're going to be doing a podcast. That's what's up.
Yes.
Well, tell me about your radio show.
Well, I used to have a radio show. I don't have it anymore. I stopped it. But I used to be on 9:10 a.m. from 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. And so when I first started,
I called it like 2 times because I was asleep.
I understand. But when I first started the show, the name of the show was Sizzle and Talk with Dr. Sabrina. So we talked about gambling, sex, and everything in between.
Okay.
And so we talked about sex quite a bit. We really did. But then
after 1 o'clock,
that's when you need to talk about it.
Yeah.
But then I changed the title of the show to the Essentially Sabrina Show a year in. I did the show for 3 years.
Okay.
Every night, 5 days a week.
Wow.
But it was amazing. And so when I changed it to the Essentially Sabrina Show, I have a model that I created called Essential Colors, which is a personality assessment tool. So when I started doing that, everybody that came on the show had to take the test. So we were able to talk about deeper things about them as people and recognition and who they were and why they did what they did. So my new show is gonna have the same title, I think. We doing a focus group on it. My team, they always want to ask other people, so we'll see.
Okay. Well, yeah. Ready Rock said, "What can we expect from your website? Maybe the podcast, maybe because our website, the link is in the bio."
The website is very easy. It's just my name, SabrinaJackson.com. And so on the website, it kind of talks about where you can get my books. It talks about, my history, some things about me, stuff I do with Fox. I have a lot of new things coming. So my website is getting ready to be all new and improved because I have some new brands that are coming out. One that I'm super excited about is my clothing line.
Hey! Okay.
So the clothing line is entitled Essentially You. And of course, it goes back to essential colors. So the theme and the foundation of the motto is built into the clothes. So once you know how you're wired, then of course how you dress can emulate that when you want to. And so we're going to give you opportunities for that. Accessories, purses, bomber jackets, all kind of stuff.
That's nice. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Is that coming out this year or?
That will be out. We'll have some, I think we'll do bomber jackets and the tees and probably some bracelets and cufflinks for Christmas.
Okay.
And then the other thing, okay, this is another thing. Oh my God. So,
thanks, Reese Cup.
Who said Reese Cup?
No, I said thank you. Reese Cup is in the comments. They said hit the like. It's free, y'all.
You know, I love a Reese Cup, and anybody knows me knows I love Reese Cups. They're my favorite. Oh my God.
Really? Okay.
Yes, they're my favorite. I mean, everybody who listens to the show, they know that I'm a Reese. I would eat Reese Cups every night. I would stop and get a Reese Cup. That's what's most important to me.
That's about like me when I was I want to say maybe 8. Maybe I might have been a little younger than 8. I don't know. I love Reese Cups so much that I allowed somebody in my neighborhood to convince me to steal from Kresge. What I stole was a Reese Cup. But I felt so bad. I'm
glad you did.
I felt
we
so
didn't
bad.
want you to grow up and be a thief, feeling good about stealing.
I felt so bad about it that I took $1 out of my allowance. I don't know how old I was, but anyway, I took $1 up there and I gave it to the cashier. She didn't know what I was giving her that dollar for. I just was like, here, take it. And she was like, what is this? And I was like, I'm sorry. And I left.
Well, I love that Reese Cup story. I have plenty of them. Some are kind of X-rated because I am divorced, but my husband was peanut butter color and I'm chocolate. So I always tell him, put your peanut butter in my chocolate.
I cannot.
Come on, somebody. I'm just saying.
I cannot.
But the other exciting
stole a Hershey bar.
Oh. I'm very fortunate that people on my team are just at the top of their game at what they're doing. And so I already have 2 or 3 of my outfits that are featured in international magazines. They've been shot by international photographers. And so the newest thing is that Gabrielle Union has a new movie coming out called The Perfect Find. It's going to be on Netflix. And 3 of my pieces are featured on her actresses in the
That is amazing. Oh my goodness.
When I tell you God just be doing, if you just lean not to your own understanding. The word is very clear. Lean not to your own understanding. You don't know, but he do. And he will continually direct your path. And that's, I am a walking, breathing testimony of that. Because I don't know nothing about fashion besides what I like to wear and what I think I look good in.
Wow, that's amazing.
So we are going to have a watch party.
Okay.
That night, and then my team will be in because my team lives in New York. So they'll be in and they'll be talking about, the fashions and the materials. And if people want to order them, they can order them that night.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Ready Rock said he's read your bio on your website and was wondering what inspired you to start your business.
The thing that is that I don't like bosses. That was really the reason. I was working for Wayne County Mental Health Board many, many years ago, and my bosses loved me. But one person called me from out of town for me to come and speak, and I had to ask for permission to go. The fact that I had to ask irritated me. And so I decided then, I'm going to cut out the middleman. If people calling for me, that means there's a need for me. So I'm going to set up me. And that's what started the business, the first business. And my first business, I started in 1995.
I love it. I don't like bosses either. We can all resonate with that one.
Yeah, and it wasn't that they were mean to me or that because if I asked, they would have let me go. I know they would have. They loved me and they loved the work that I did. In fact, my first client when I quit was them, because what I was doing, I had wrote and nobody else could do. So they hired me to finish it.
That's amazing.
But it was so different as a consultant working with them than I didn't have to ask for permission to go nowhere. I got to tell them, this is when we're doing it. We had our scope of service and we kept it pushing. So that's what started me in doing business for myself. That piece. And then the other piece was that when I was doing administrative work, I stopped seeing clients. I stopped doing counseling, coaching, all that stuff. And I really have a passion for helping people. And so I was able to do both. I was able to go and do speaking engagements, and I had a private practice and an office and a building and staff and all of that.
That's awesome. Now this is one of my other favorites that you posted on TikTok here.
Hey family, okay. Dr. Sabrina here with your People Expert Tip of the Day. And this one is for you to think about how you treat other people. Watch who you try to throw up under the bus, because the bus itself has a reverse and you can find yourself up under that same bus.
Honey,
drop the mic. You can find yourself under the same bus.
Right. That is so true. That is so true. You got to be careful.
We have to be careful how we treat people, because, you know, when we are looking at people, there's a scripture. And I'm a preacher. I am a licensed and ordained evangelist. So I do talk about the word a lot because I know word. But there's a scripture in the Bible that says the eyes are the light of the body. And if you see light, you're full of light. But if you see darkness, oh, how dark are you? Because basically, you only draw to you what's in you.
That's right.
So when you start looking at negativity all around you all the time, people saying mean things to you, check yourself first. What you doing? Because what I've learned is that when I'm in a good space of joy and love and peace, joy and love and peace be looking for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And I used to wonder a lot, you know, certain people I would make sure I would not be around, because everything that came out of their mouth was, oh my goodness, I can't believe this happened to me, and this person did this and this happened. I mean, and they were always miserable and always upset. And I just was like, how does that happen? But we attract what we are.
I remember when I was doing the show, it was a guy that used to call in all the time and talk about the type of woman he did not want. I don't want a woman that does this. I don't want a woman that does that. And so finally one night I said, well, what kind of woman do you want? Because if you spend your time talking about and focusing on what you don't want, that energy is what's going to show up at your door, what you don't want, because that's the energy and language that you're putting in practice. If you want something different, speak that.
Right.
Say that. Expect it. Visualize it. Dream about it. Talk about it. And then it'll show up. I'm telling you, you will walk right into that blessing.
That's true. So one of the things I enjoy listening to you talk about is the 4 agreements. And some people, and when I talk about the 4 agreements, they don't know what I'm talking about. I was introduced to the writings of Don Miguel Ruiz back in 2005. Had never heard of him before. And somebody had given me his book, The Mastery of Love. I read that book. I love that book. It's absolutely amazing. The little stories in there. It's practical knowledge. It's just, you know, when you're reading it, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. But it's like reminders or something. So it prompted me to look for his other books. I'm like, well, what else he didn't wrote? You know,
a whole bunch. Look,
he really has. So then I, you know, found the 4 agreements. When I tell you I've had that book at least 20 times, because I would get it and I love to read it periodically, not just read it and put it away, but I would tell people about it all the time. And then they would be like, oh, you know, and I would just give people copies of the book, you know, and I'll be like, you don't got to give it back. Read it, enjoy it, you know, absorb it, And the 4 agreements, just in case anybody's wondering what we're talking about, you have be impeccable with your word. Number 2 is don't take anything personally. Number 3, don't make assumptions. And number 4, always do your best. And though the book just resonated with me so much, and to this day I think about those 4 agreements in all situations.
Well, one of the things that I really appreciate about the 4 agreements is that it tells you if you implement these 4 things, it changes the trajectory of your life.
It does.
Because if you are impeccable with your word, that means you mean what you say and you say what you mean. And so that takes out all the negativity, because you don't want to. I always say, if everything you said happened, what would you say? If everything you said happened, what would you say?
It would be a hot mess.
So our words have so much power. Back to scripture again. At the beginning, God created, the heavens and the earth, but he spoke it. It's his words. His words have so much power. And I always say, and my big spiritual brother says this all the time. He says, I'm not the God, but I am a God. Because the power to create is in me as well. He put that power to create with my tongue. So there's life and death that lies in the power of your tongue. Secondly, never taking anything personally. Oh my God. We are such little egomaniacs. We think everything is about us. We think, oh, they don't like me. They looking at me cross-eyed. Have you ever looked at somebody, but you really wasn't looking at them? You thinking about what you got to do later. Your mind someplace else. But because you're looking at them and you might be looking crazy, they think that you're feeling some kind of way. Well, I always say, if I know I have the capability of doing that, why can't I give someone else the benefit of the doubt? And the other thing I say, in fact, I have it on t-shirts. People do what's inside of them, not what's inside of you.
How can they?
Even when they do something directly to you, it has more to do with what's inside of them, because they're doing what's coming up out of them. So I remember my son is 28 now, but when he was about 12, he said to me one day, he said, "Ma, I don't believe in peer pressure." And I went, "Really? Why not?" He says, "Because people can't pressure you to do what's not in you." This is a 12-year-old. And I says, "Well, give me an example." He says, like, if I'm at a party and everybody's using drugs, I don't use drugs, so I'm not going to use drugs. I'm just not. He said, but if I did, all they did was prick what was inside of me. So we stopped calling it peer pressure and we call it peer pricking, because people can only get out of you what's in you.
Wow.
So I'm not a cusser. I'm really not a cusser. I don't cuss and stuff. So I'm never gonna like cuss people out, and you ain't gonna never see me in the public going off on somebody and calling people out there. It ain't in me. So even if somebody was doing that to me, I'm not gonna do that, because that's not what I do.
Right.
So I don't take it personally. And then the whole thing about assumptions. Oh my God. I just wrote a piece of a book. There's a book called Behold for Women. And my chapter is called Assuming Jacks You Up Every Time.
That is the truth.
Every time. Because when you make an assumption, you're making it off of limited information. And an assumption is never trying to get full information. An assumption takes a little bit and run with it.
Sure does. And a lot of people make assumptions off of how they feel. Has nothing to do with what's going on with you.
So assumptions, you make an ASS out of you and me.
Right.
And so you have to watch the assumptions. And I always say, if you want to know something, ask. And let me say this, especially for couples, especially people that's been together for a long time. We really believe that if a person's been with us for a long time, they should know how we feel. They should know how we think, because you've been with me. And you know the song, "If you don't know me by now, you will never, ever, ever know me." No, no, because the one thing that happens as we matriculate is we grow and we change.
Truth.
So the things that used to piss me off when I was younger may not irritate me anymore. Or the things that I used to like when I was younger, I might not like them no more. So you have to be willing in your relationships to learn each other as you grow.
Right.
And that assuming, tell the person. It's not fair to the person if you ain't told them what's wrong with you. What's your problem? What's your issue? You just got to tell them. And then the last one, to do your best. Oh my God. Understand that your best changes from situation to situations. So if you're happy, you're different. When you're sick, you're different. When you're stressed, you're different. But if in that moment you did your very best, that's all you can do. You can't do more than your best.
Right.
So I tell people I bring my A game to every game.
I love it. That I really appreciated that part of the 4 agreements for myself, because it made me think a little more, like, you know, because sometimes you like, oh, I tried, you know, or you get down on yourself and you didn't think you did all that you could have done. But for the moment and for that time, your best is not going to be what your best was when, you know, maybe you didn't have arthritis. I don't know. So, you know what I'm saying? And that made me feel a lot better to think of it that way. And that book, just in general.
And you know, he has one called The 5th Agreement.
I have it. I have the 4 agreements, the 5th agreement. What's the other one? The key. What is it? It's something about knowledge.
I absolutely I like little books like that. In fact,
I do too.
I'm working on a couple of books. I'm working on a book to help people with the language of asking for help. Because what I find is that most people who are helpers don't know how to ask for help. They don't have a clue. They don't know how to ask. They don't know what to do. I know. So my thing is, oftentimes when there are things that I need, I'm the first partaker, and then I create it so that I can share it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, because we don't know how to ask for help. We so strong. Oh, I am woman, hear me roar. You know, all of that. But
Or I don't, for myself, I don't necessarily feel like that so much. I've been by myself for a long time, and I've always had to do or figure out everything just for myself. I didn't have any help. So when someone comes along and they provide help or provide assistance, I'm like so discombobulated. Like, you know, sometimes I don't even know how to accept it. And it's a lot of people out there that experience that, but I try to like, you know, like, hey, it's okay,
pull it together, you can do it.
And it's like I automatically start thinking, oh, I'm doing, you know, I'm taking up too much of somebody's time, or, you know, whatever the case. And that's just my first reaction.
Well, the other thing, the one thing, and I used to think like that as well, but what I understand now is that life is about circular. It moves in a cycle. And so as the cycle is moving, you should never always be the giver, and you should not always be the receiver. But there is somebody placed in a spot by God to help you, because that's the season they're in to be the giver. And you're in the season of being the receiver. And so it is a God thing. It don't even have nothing to do with you, really. It has to do with the cycle and the flow of how things go. You should never always be given, and you should not always be the receiver. If you're always receiving, you come across like you're a taker, taking advantage of.
Right.
But if you are always the giver, sometimes people see that as weakness and you're taking advantage of.
Right.
So you got to be able to.
It's got to be a balance.
Yes, it definitely has to be a balance. And I know for me, I've been like, help. And so when I got sick, that was a huge lesson for me, because I do this workshop called Moving from Self-Defeating Attitudes and Behaviors to Self-Supporting Attitudes and Behaviors. And a self-defeating attitude is not asking for help before, during, or after a crisis. Because generally when a crisis is coming, we know it's coming. We but we don't ask for help. In the middle of the crisis, we don't ask for help. And after the crisis, when we're trying to rebuild, we don't ask for help. So self-supporting attitude is asking for help before, during, and after a crisis.
Wow. I saw this on your Facebook page, and I really like the message from this as well. It says, all we have is now. Yesterday has become then, and tomorrow is when. What are you doing now?
Yes. When I tell you that whole now thing got down in my spirit so deep that my prayers are about now. My focus is about now. So even when I'm thinking about the things that I want or my vision for myself, I speak in terms of now, because the universe or the spirit realm is moving now.
Right.
It ain't gonna wait to move tomorrow. It's moving now, because right now is all we have. Yesterday is the past.
That's true.
Tomorrow we have no idea what's gonna happen. But if I'm planning, if you start to look at your life and you don't like what you see, start with what you think, because what you think is what you speak, and what you speak is what you create. So if your thinking is thinking, then what you gonna see is a stinking life. So you have to take control over that. You have to be able to say positive things to yourself about yourself daily. I say good things about myself. I love me. Oh my God, I love me. The other day I was looking, in fact, when you put that picture up with that post, what I was thinking was, ooh, that's a pretty girl. That's a pretty girl right there. That's a pretty girl. All that chocolate. Men can't handle all this chocolate. I put them in a diabetic coma.
I love it. That is so true. A friend of mine I was talking about something today, and instead of saying when, I said if, and they corrected me, and they were like when, and I'm like, you right. I forgot. You right.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get myself in the habit, because how we think about things are how they're going to happen. And I just have to, I'm trying to,
But it's a day. I think it's a daily thing. I think that, affirmations are very, very powerful. So I say affirmations. I definitely speak the word over my life all the time. Like when I pray the word. I pray what the scriptures say. I pray that God said in his word that he's going to do exceedingly abundantly above all. That's 4 things bigger that I can ask or think. So that means if I asked it, I ain't asked big enough. And if I thought it, I ain't thought big enough. So if that's the case, why not just think big?
Okay.
Why not just, why say, I remember I heard Les Brown tell this story about a lady who she was living with her parents, and she kept praying, if I could just have my own room, like in a boarding house, just on my own room. So she prayed and got her own room. And then once she got the room, she was like, if I could just get my own studio apartment. Okay, then he gave her a studio apartment. Then he said, look, if I could get my own house, just my own house. Then she got her house. Let's say it. When she asked for the room, why didn't she just ask for the house? You could have had the house before you had the room. It's your thinking.
She was going in increments.
Right. Because we have limited thinking. And because we have limited thinking, we limit what we ask for. So one of the things that I say is that I want it don't make no sense kind of blessing. It just don't even make no sense that I got that. It don't make any sense. So I share a story that when I got divorced, because I always say the greatest assault to my finances was marriage.
Mm.
Oh my God. So I got divorced, and when I got divorced, my credit score was 439. 439.
Wow.
Because of the divorce stuff. So I needed a car. But I was not going to no car dealer because my credit score was 439. Who giving somebody a car with a 439 credit score? Ain't nobody doing
Or
that.
if they do give it to you, it's gonna be an arm and a
It's
leg,
gonna be an arm and a leg.
even if it only lasts a week.
If it lasts a week. So my son, who was in college at the time, called me on a Saturday morning. He says, Mom was up praying, and the Holy Spirit said that you need to go to a car dealer today, that there's a car waiting on you today. Not me, but I'm obedient, and I got up and I went. So my pastor, who's also like a brother to me, he says, oh, sis, I got a friend who got a car dealer. Let's meet me up there. Met him up there. He told him my situation. So he was going to give me a Ford Escape, a little SUV, used but nice, clean, for $379, which was pretty high for that car. It really was, because my credit, of course. Right before I went in to sign the papers, the owner came out and says, hey, come here for a minute. And he took me around the back where they had new cars that they had just gotten in that they hadn't put out on the lot yet. And it was a gray Cadillac truck, SUV, a Cadillac truck, and black leather interior, the bells and whistles. And he opened the door. He said, sit in here. And I sat in. He said, do you like this? I said, yes, I do. He says, I'm going to give you this for the same price I was going to give you the Ford Escape for. I left that car dealer that day with a Cadillac truck. It don't make no sense kind of blessing. It didn't make no sense. So when I tell the testimony, I don't tell it to brag on me. I tell it to brag on God, because trust, in Sabrina's eyesight, I shouldn't have had that truck. Nothing about that was, but all I was obedient. When God say move, move. When he say go, go, even if it don't make no sense, because he's got somebody there waiting to bless you. Wow. That's what favor is. Favor is stalking me. And stalkers study your trends. They know where you're going before you get there. They stay around after you leave. So favor happens to me quite often. And my major prayer every day, I say it every single day, God, blow your super on my natural, because that's the only thing that's going to make supernatural. And so I walk with supernatural expectations, supernatural blessings. I expect good things to happen to me. And guess what? They do.
I'm going to watch this episode about 15 times myself.
Oh, well, you know, man. You got a lot of good things that's going on with you. You are such a light and an example in the world right now. And I so thank God for your transparency. I thank God for your openness. I thank God for you just being honest. I so thank God for your story. I really do. I mean, I tell people I was at home blubbering and crying like y'all was my family. I'm like, oh, I was a mess. Just
it's still amazing. It's still baffling me. I'm still flabbergasted.
But that's what God really wants to do with all of us. He wants to blow our mind.
Yeah.
He wants to do something for you that you go, oh my God, I know I ain't had nothing to do with this. Nothing.
Yeah.
But that's what our daddy do.
You can say that again.
Yes, I hear the people. I see the people in the comments. I'm saying, yes, auntie, yes.
Mama said, "Amen."
Amen, mama.
Oh,
so tell me to have your mama.
Me about, I know it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Tell me about conversations for sisters.
Conversations with Sisters is a play that is done by Frankie Darcell. Frankie Darcell, of course, is on the radio, and it's going
Yeah.
to actually be in Philly. And so she wrote it, and she has different conversations that sisters have, the kind we have with each other. And
Right.
so it's amazing. And it's been, and she's had it out. She's added some characters. And so it's coming out November 6th and 7th in Philly.
Are you a part of that?
I am actually not a part. I'm just supporting my sister. So I'm going to go and hang out with her and be her special guest. I do a lot of things with her. I've been on her. I think I've been on her radio show the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of talking about post-COVID, what things to do, what things not to do. And just how I think that COVID has caused many people to become mean.
Oh, that is very true. It's I've actually sat and watched, like, I worked at the storage facility, and I watched people's moods and attitudes that had been customers there from when I first started up until during and after, and things are just so different now. People The way people drive now, it's just it's
People are
wild.
so agitated. But this is the thing that I tell people is that there is a continuum between mental wellness and mental illness. Mental wellness, you cannot be okay, but still be mentally well. You could be having a bad day. You could be grieving the loss. But what has occurred with trauma? Because all of us have experienced different levels of trauma. When trauma happens back to back, it kicks you into mental illness. So it kicks you into either being homicidal, suicidal, depressed, anxious, and all of those are things that are diagnosable in the DSM. And so many people are walking around as the walking wounded because they haven't figured out, opened themselves up to true healing. And then the other thing, because loss is happening back to back to back, that's called cumulative loss or grief overload. And so grief overload is very difficult because you may get a loss here and you start the grieving process, but soon as you start the process, you kicked with another loss. So now you're back in the grieving. So people can't catch their breath. And I've heard people say to me, I just don't feel like I can catch my breath.
I've heard people say that too. Yeah. It's just
So
too much.
we've got support groups going. I'm doing coaching. We have to talk it out. Talk it out, write it out. Journaling is an experience, not an activity. Journaling, writing, because it's healing when we write. And I will say this, and I say it all the time. When you feel like you are down, you're down and out, you're depressed, you don't know what to do, you feel lost, you're angry, the thing you need to do besides pray is laugh. Because laughter is medicine for your soul. So the very times you feel like it's inappropriate to laugh or that you shouldn't laugh is when you need to laugh.
And that would be me. I'm always laughing.
I laugh like a crazy woman. And I laugh on purpose, like every day. I laugh on purpose. I do things and I watch things that are funny to me on purpose. So that I can get me a giggle in because it elevates my spirit. So between music and laughter, I keep the energy in my space high. So when I wake up in the morning, I have certain songs I listen to. Like all I do is win, 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 no matter what. I love that song. That's my theme song.
I know that's right.
I do. And so I do those things so that I'm okay, especially with the type of work that I do. I have to make sure I'm okay because you'll take in all this stuff. I mean, I literally hear about death every day, several times a day, or somebody has got a cancer diagnosis or, just all this devastating things that people are dealing with. That's what they call me for.
Right. You keep a bottle of laughter with you?
Yeah,
I know that's right. And
yes,
then
I do.
Mom said laughter is exercise for the heart.
Yes. Thank you, Mother. I will be using that. Thank you very much. I'll give you credit the first time.
Oh.
After that is mine.
That brings me to another tip that you had on TikTok.
Hey family, it's Dr. Sabrina here with your People Expert Tip of the Day. And today I want to talk about healing from hurt. We've all been hurt, but to heal, we have to help everyone affirm life. Yes, there's still something to be excited in your life about. I love that acronym. I'm the acronym queen. I love acronyms. I have acronyms for everything. But I love the HEAL acronym because I think that I was asked a couple of years ago, there was a string of suicides in schools out in middle schools out in Ypsilanti.
Really?
And so they asked me to come in and talk to the students and talk to the staff. And so one of the things that I noticed is I was looking for materials to put together for the parents and things of that nature. Everything sounded really sad. And I said, the way that we heal is that we still have to affirm life. There is still something good about life. Yeah, we're devastated at the loss, but we're still here. So you have to find a way to move to a space that you enjoy life again.
Right.
So yes, I believe in that.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Well, oh, the other one that I really liked was this one here.
Hey family, it's Dr. Sabrina here with your People Expert Tip of the Day. Understand that haters come with the equation. You cannot have the blessing without the haters. Because understand, God is preparing a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Woo! Haters. Hateration. I wrote a book, and it's called The 10 Types of Haters.
Okay.
Because since we know that haters are a part of the equation, then you might as well know the different type of haters you're going to be dealing with. And of course, I'm the crazy one. So I like every hater starts with the H. So like one of the haters is the haphazard hater. They hating, but they don't really know they hating. They kind of hating. They don't. Then there's the haughty hater. And the haughty hater, in order for them to feel elevated and exalted, they got to put you down. They got to keep you up under them. They'll give you they might recommend you to somebody, but then they'll say, oh, well, I couldn't recommend you to the person that I use because you're not at the place that I'm at. And
wow.
But why you got to say all that? That's like somebody said, oh, you so cute to be so dark.
Right. What kind of crap is that?
What? So another type of hater is the humorous hater. And the humorous hater is like making little jokey jokes, but they still hating.
Right.
They laugh at it. You go, but that's not funny and that's not nice.
Exactly.
I remember somebody saying to me, because I'm pretty quick with it. So I was on a trip. And somebody said, look at Dr. Sabrina over there looking like the Pillsbury Dough girl. And before I knew it, I said, oh, but trust and believe somebody's trying to play in the dough.
Oh!
Don't come for me.
I'm
ready for you. If you're coming, I'm ready. But I'm quick with it. I just in that moment, as soon as they said it, that's what. And so I didn't get offended. Because I like the skin I'm in.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're haters. Lots of haters.
People something else. Well, what's coming up for Dr. Sabrina?
Well,
before you answer that, is what you're wearing right now part of your clothing line?
Okay. No, right. I'm not wearing my stuff yet.
Okay.
Not yet. Okay. But by the first, I think by before Thanksgiving, I'll start wearing some of my pieces. I think, in fact, by the end of next week, I'm doing a photo shoot, so they're sending me pieces to wear. But anyway, so the first thing is the clothing line, of course, Essentially You, and that's coming out in the movie stuff. And if you follow me on my Instagram, there are pictures up there of some of my pieces with stars in them. So Martha Wash, the used to be in the Weather Girls, It's Raining Man.
Yeah.
She did a new album, and she's wearing 3 of my pieces in her photo shoot, in her magazine layout, as well as in her thing for her album. And
That's
then Haley Sahar, who is one of the stars of Pose on FX. She has on my Golden You Dress, and it's in an international magazine called Arts and Understanding. It's for the LGBTQ community. And so I am so super excited about the celebrities that are loving the pieces and using them already. People don't even know about the line, but it's out there at that level. And
that's
so I'm excited about that.
That is awesome.
The second thing that I'll be doing before the beginning of the year, I have a book called My Essential Vision Atlas. And it's a book that helps you with your visioning, because I never liked doing vision boards. So I always put my visions in a book, because I used to say, well, if I did a vision board, and what if God give me another vision tomorrow? I got to do a whole new board. So I start putting it in books. And so I created a book. And so I'm going to do a vision. It's going to be not your everyday vision party. And I'm going to do
Is that something like where people can actually write their visions in, or okay.
Absolutely. So the beginning of the book just gives you some instructions. And what the other thing that I break down in the book are the 12 major areas of life, because I want you to do a vision page for each area.
Okay.
Because oftentimes we just think about 4 or 5 areas, and then it's 12 areas. Okay. Have a vision for each area. It helps to balance out your life when you start to think about things that are beyond just the norm. And so I'm going to have that party that's coming up before the end of the year to help people start planning for next year. And then, of course, I do coaching, and I help people who want to start nonprofits. And so I'll still do all the same stuff. And then the podcast is coming. The podcast is coming. The podcast is coming. The podcast is coming.
That's going to be good. That's going to be great. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, I thank you so much for being a part of Vibin in the D tonight. I would like to have you back on again.
Anytime.
Amazing. You're always welcome. And I'm looking forward to this vision book. Because I got a board over here right now, and I keep saying I got to go put some stuff on it.
Nope, you need the book. The book is one of the reasons that I didn't like the board also is that if I put the board up in my house, that people come over my house, then they looking at my vision. Everybody don't need to see your vision.
That is so true.
Everybody, because some people can put their little negative energy on your vision, or look at it and say, well, why you got Oprah on there? Or why you ain't gonna never meet. I had somebody tell me that once. I had somebody tell me that my role was to now help them, because my day is over. It's not like you're going to be Oprah or nothing. No, first of all, I can't be Oprah because Oprah is Oprah.
Exactly.
That's the first thing. I can't be Oprah. But I can be Dr. Sabrina.
Okay.
Now, where God wants to take Dr. Sabrina is only limited by my thinking and my speech. And so that's why I don't listen to the naysayers, because people are always going to have something negative to say. People say stuff about my hair. People say all kind of stuff. So all while that's going on, people still calling me from all over the world.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Well, thank you so very much. Before I get out of here, I do want to say, hold on one second. I do want to say rest in peace to downtown Tony Brown. I saw that last night, and I know this might sound crazy, but you know how the comedians be talking about each other, just joking with each other, messing. I was hoping, I was like, please because it was on Foolish's Instagram, and Foolish is foolish. And I was like, please let him be saying like rest in peace, like I was better than your set or something. And I kept looking all over the internet and I'm like, no. But he really has passed on, and he was extremely funny.
Extremely.
Oh my goodness. So rest in peace, sir.
Yes, rest in peace, Tony. Great guy.
Man.
Very helpful in the community, did a lot for people. Just down to earth. Even though he had the celebrity that he had and he had the connections that he had, because he was really seen as one of the godfathers in the game. People.
And I was so glad I got a chance to actually see him live a few times.
Oh yes.
And he was amazing. He was.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you so much. Thank you for being on. I appreciate you. Don't go anywhere. And I'm going to close this out. And everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you give this show a thumbs up. Get those algorithms rolling. And everybody have a wonderful weekend and be safe. Make sure to tune in Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Groove Radio Detroit, YouTube, and Facebook Live.